बातिल की क़ज़ा है, एक नूर हिदायत भी है, जीने की अदा है। ईमान है, सदाकत है, यही दर्स वफा है। इमदाद अगर सूरते शबीर न होती, भटके हुए इस्लाम की तौकीर न होती। फिक्रे हुसैन दीन मोहम्मद।
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन वस्सलातु वस्सलामु अला सय्यिदिना व नबिय्यिना हबीब क़ुलूबिना व तबीब नुफूसिना अबिल क़ासिम मुहम्मद व अला अहलि बैतिहि अत्तय्यिबीन अत्ताहिरीन अल-मासूमीन। अम्मा बाद, अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू। We have dealt with the important masail which are related with namaz-e-Jamāʿah. And if there are any other problems, which I believe there must be, personal or out of experience, we can always ask, and we shall inshallah ta'ala solve those problems. Now, although we have discussed this earlier, but I still find that it is very important that we know that the namaz or the salat that we pray is preceded by a condition which is called wuduʿ. And it is surprising that this requires repetition, but of course, without wuduʿ being performed correctly, the namaz or the salat is batil. Many of you might feel that this is just a repetition, but it is a repetition for those who inshallah will benefit from it. Because we have lost the habit of telling each other when we are there doing wuduʿ and somebody else just standing nearby does wuduʿ incorrectly. We don't tell him that your wuduʿ is incorrect. And we just wait for somebody else to come and tell him. That habit of amr bil ma'ruf, telling the people that which should be told good and that which is wajib to say, of course with politeness and gentleness, we have lost. So now, what do I see normally? That is what I'm going to deal with, and not what wuduʿ. All of us know that what is wajib in wuduʿ, apart from the requirements that the water must be pure and not mixed, that more water must be mubah and not ghasbi. Apart from these requirements, wuduʿ itself is a very simple act. Washing of the face, washing of the two arms, wiping of your head, and wiping of your feet. And wuduʿ is over. But what we observe and what we see normally as people do wuduʿ is that they don't wash their face properly. The face has got to be washed according to all the mujtahideen, regardless of any taqleed you do. All of them are united on this, that it has got to begin from where the hair grows. That means water has got to be poured from there and not from the middle. As people just splash water on their noses and then wipe the whole face, that is not the way you do wuduʿ. It's very simple. You do the wudu with pouring your water from where the hair begins. And then you spread over your face, and the spread of the face which is wajib is that which comes into your span. That means between your second finger and your thumb, that much is wajib. That means this is the spread of a normal hand. And of course, to wipe sideways the sideburns is mustahab, so that you include it. And of course the beard, if it is small like this, we must see that water reaches. If it is mashallah, then you don't need to put your fingers into it. Just like that. First time to wash is wajib, naturally. Second time is mustahab. Third time is haram. This we must always remember. First time is wajib to wash. Second time to wash it is mustahab. Third time to wash it is not mustahab, it is haram. Now what does it mean? All the ayatullah alive and those who have passed away, they have said that as long as you go on pouring water, we don't count it as one. You may go on pouring water till you are satisfied the water has reached. It depends upon your intention. When you intend, now this is the first time, after having reached water, you may pour even 10 times. But when you wipe and say, now this is in your mind, this is the first time, that is the first time. Again, if you want to put it, is mustahab. Third time is not jaiz, it is haram. Because it is bid'ah. Then, to wash your hand, what I observe is that people put water from here, just here. And then, of course, they wipe the whole hand. Starting to pour water from here in a hurry, I don't know what hurry it is there, you see, is not sahih. It has got to start from the elbow, and it is mustahab to start a bit higher than elbow, so that we are sure that the elbow is included. And of course, water reaches then everywhere. We spread it by hand. If there are rings, then we either rotate the ring or remove the ring so that water reaches everywhere. Again, once is wajib, twice is mustahab, third time is not mustahab, it is haram. Left arm. Similarly, we must pour from just above the elbow, not from halfway. If wudu is batil, namaz is batil. If namaz is batil, then we say our dua is not heard. When you have come with the wudu which is batil, your dua cannot be heard. The taharat has got to be proper. Well, you just, from above. For ladies, the same is the limit, but they can, it is mustahab for them to pour water from inside. But that is the limit. And from there it should begin. From there downwards. It is recommended by Ayatullah Sistani that especially in the left hand, pour only once. That means pour as many times as you want, but wash or wipe only once. Why? Because that is the water which you have in your hand which should go for masah. You don't take fresh water for masah. If you want to close and shut the tap which has already got some water on it, please close the tap before you have finally wiped your arm. Because after having wiped the arm, if you touch anything wet, you will take a fresh water in your hand. Simple. Wiping of the head, masah, is very simple. The frontal 1/4 quarter of the head is to be used. That's all. People who part hair here, they believe this is a clear path, so they do masah here. That is not correct. People who part hair here, they do masah on the parting. That is not correct. The masah has got to be in the frontal 1/4 part, and that is this one. Either with one span, one finger, or 3 fingers, and that's all. And because we are living in the age of escalators where people don't climb. If you have gone to the major stores, you don't climb, the stair takes you up. Is it not so? Yes. So here in Masa, that is not allowed. That means you can't just keep a hand and say, like that. Escalate your finger, that means automation. No, that automation is not right. Your hand must move. The masih, the one which wipes, moves. The head is wiped, therefore it does not move. So therefore it is like this. Simple. And for feet, it's simple, of course, without socks. We don't do on socks. We remove the socks, and from the toe, big toe, upwards, up to this joint here, is the masah. Simple. But this remains steady, the hand moves. Of course, Ayatullah Sistani has said it is mustahab. And all the mujtahideen have said that up to 3 fingers can be taken together so that masah is done. First on the right and then on the left. I believe this is enough for tonight. Inshallah ta'ala. I mean, how many du'as to read? What is mustahab? We just don't want to know about it. What we want to know about is what is to be done. Yesterday, because of the burial ceremony that took place, we digressed from the subject. Tonight I am speaking on a subject which is very important and very serious. But I believe it will be taken with some understanding, because if you don't understand, please ask. That one of the things that the Prophet ﷺ said was that a man should plan his life to think over the mysteries and the wonders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who is sleeping? I don't know. Well, the young boy should be requested to go, because with his groaning and snoring, I can snore myself also. There will be a problem. Let him take rest there. He is tired, poor fellow. Our children are fasting. May Allah increase in their tawfiqat. If they get tired, we can understand. Anyway, I am pleased that no elder is asleep. To think. And today I am going to speak on this subject simply because many people have the idea that in Islam, especially if you are a practicing Muslim, you have got to be a mullah. Mullah means one who does not know where is his right hand and where is his left. In our own language, we call him Allah Maru. Allah Maru means a man who belongs to Allah and does not know anything. So this is what a practicing Muslim is. He does not think, he is not very highly educated. He does not get educated at all. He is just doesn't know anything of this world. He knows only about the next world. And he's trying to tell the people about the next world only. He does not know what problems we are facing on earth here. This is a notion that we carry with us, which is absolutely unfounded. Absolutely unfounded. The Prophet ﷺ one day entered the house, and that was the night, the turn of Aisha, Bibi Aisha. Aisha reports that that night the Prophet entered the room and said, Aisha, tonight I will seek permission that I should be on the musalla to pray only. That permission is from the wife, of course. You see, you take that permission, you learn that how to do. Because it is your right that I should sleep here, but I would like tonight to be on the musalla. And Aisha said, I have no objection to it. The Prophet sat on the musalla for a part of night and wept. And after that he stood for Salāt and he wept. Then he slept on the musalla and also he bitterly wept. Till the time of Namaz al-Subh, when Bilal came, after Adhan, Bilal said, Ya Rasulullah, what made you cry so much? He said, the ayah has been revealed tonight. This is from Surah Al Imran. إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار. This ayah has been revealed tonight. What is the meaning? Surely, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the difference of night and the day, there are signs of Allah for the people who have reason and intelligence. And who are those people? They are the people who remember Allah while they stand and they sit, and they are on their sides when they go to sleep. And they say, Oh Allah, you have not created the whole universe in vain. Glory be to you, and save us from hellfire. This is what the Prophet said on that night. Thinking, we have no time for which. For that we don't have time for thinking as to what is going around in this world. While the history of Islam, if we care to read, will show you so many scholars who actually brought Europe in acquaintance with science. When Europe was in dark ages, Muslims were far advanced in so many branches of science. And they were the ones who actually transmitted Greek thinking into Europe. They were the people who wrote on philosophy, original tracts plus translations. And these people came to know from Muslims. Well, we have a history of knowledge, but these were the scholars. When they found out anything and discovered anything, they went into sajda to say, Subhanallah. What is the difference? This is what I want to say, only 5 minutes, because this is an important subject. We are living in 20th century. In Europe, there was a plan which is still going on in the West, whole of the West, America and Europe, which we still do not wish to acknowledge because we are engrossed in it. The first plan was to separate the politics from church. That is what they call separating the state from the church. Bear with me for 5 minutes. Very important subject. And today we are blamed that Ayatollah Khomeini brought church and state together in Iran. That means he says politics and deen go together. While they separated it, church has got nothing to do now with the state. Church is respected, but it cannot govern, it cannot even rule over the heads of state. The head of state, of course, can be given a title of defender of faith, but that is just a title. While earlier, if you read the history of Catholicism, you will find that the popes ruled and the prime ministers and the ministers could not speak a word. When the papal authority ruled, all of them were subjugated. Today it is totally different. They first alienated this. In 18th century, that means about 150 years ago, they separated religion from education. There was a time when educated people in Catholics and Protestants were the missionaries who were educated and then they came out to spread the religion. We in East Africa know about this. Dr. Livingstone, who came to Ujiji. We have still a memorial for him on Lake Tanzania. He was a doctor of medicine. He came there to serve Christianity and also to serve the population, being a doctor. They separated this. Morals, ethics, educational curriculum devoid of religion. Today, if you listen to RE syllabus, that means religious education syllabus, do not be misled. That is not a religious education, it is religious instruction. Because a non-believer will teach Islam. A Christian teacher or whoever he may be will teach Islam. So a man who does not believe in that faith, when he stands to teach, he is not educating, he is just instructing. He is telling, this is what your prophet brought here. He believed in one God, he did not believe in any idols, and he believed in the day of judgment, and he believed in all the prophets, and that's over. Well, a man who believes in it, when he teaches with a flavor of Iman. Understand? Right. Now, wherever there is an Islamic school, as they call it Islamic school, my first question is it Islamic? For is there a flavor of Iman in it? To keep 1 or 2 periods at the end of the day of teaching diniyat for 40 minutes only, while the whole school curriculum runs on national curriculum, which is totally devoid of religion and Islam and ethics. Is that an Islamic school? Simply teaching Quran and Majid and Arabic? It is not. And we are thinking in terms of Islamic school without understanding as to what we are heading for. If we really want to do it Islamic, then the boy or the girl who will be in the campus of Islamic school will always be conscious that there is a dhikr together with fikr. Quran says, الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا وَعَلَى جُنُوبِهِمْ وَيَتَفَكَّرُونَ. There is a dhikr and there is a fikr. That means there is education. Learn all the disciplines. Be an engineer, a doctor, or whatever you want to be. At the same time, you don't forget that all this that you are learning belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is missing. A doctor, when he becomes a doctor, becomes tarikus Salāt. That means benamazi. A boy who has gone to university or a girl has gone to university believes that now I have reached a stage where religion is out of date. This is because it has been divorced. And therefore, we are now leading a life of what I call dichotomy. Dichotomy means 2 types of lives, outside and inside, just like a businessman. A businessman, when he believes that Allah does not belong to his shop, then he does whatever he likes in his business, because Allah cannot enter that province. But when he comes to the mosque, he is the first one with Mafatihul Jinan. He is in the first line. But when he does his business, Allah does not have any business with him. That is absolutely wrong, because we are living a life of dichotomy. 2 types of life. Our children, because in this community or any community, whether Shia, Ithna Ashari or any Muslim community, for that matter, whether it is in Stanmore or outside Stanmore, the danger does not lie in those who are already in business and those who are already old, those who have finished and they are married and settled in life. There the danger is least. The danger is in the university, where our boys and girls are supposed to study higher education after having attained that level of intelligence, that they are admitted to that fold. And there, of course, because they see that whatever they are learning has got nothing to do with ethics, nothing to do with morals of Islam, nothing to do with the teachings of Islam, so they become good thinkers. They may become good scholars, but they become bad Muslims. It's a problem. I gave an example. I'm giving several examples today because it burns here, because somebody is trying to pull a fast one on us and we are being blinded. Islamic school, Islamic school. Where is Islamic school? Tell me, where is Islam? I haven't seen one in England yet. It is a school which is called Islamic. It has got a curriculum at the end, tailpiece of certain minutes. The whole national curriculum takes you to secularization. This is the policy of America and England, that let us secularize everything. Education has been secularized. And we wanted it to be together with the religion. How can we do it? It is a mammoth task. It is a task where textbooks will have to be changed. Where a textbook comes out with scientific facts, together with it somewhere in between the line, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasulullah, A'imma Ma'asumin must be mentioned. For example, I'm just giving you an example. If we are discussing time and relativity of time, Dr. Abdul Wahab was here somewhere. I don't know whether he is here still, but he must be listening to what I'm saying. He's there. Time is relative as far as we are told by Einstein and Bohr and all those people. Why don't you mention that in Nahjul Balagha, Ali ibn Abi Talib has also mentioned it. Why don't you say that? But they will not say it. Why should they say it? But in our textbook, somewhere it must say that Quran Majid itself talks of relativity of time. When Quran says on the day of judgment, people will be asked, say, how long did you stay on earth? Now I stayed for 58 already. My elders have stayed for 70, 80. Huh? On the day of judgment, when they rise, they will not say that I have been on 80 years or 70 years. They will say, labithna yawman aw ba'da yawm. We have lived there for a day or a part of a day. That shows that after having lived for years, you come to say that you have lived for a day or a part of a day. Time on earth is different and time there is different. Why don't you tell our Muslim children that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has talked about this, has spoken about this? It is not there. Then so many things are coming up. Then we get questions from educated boys, and when we answer them, they say, oh, sorry, we never knew about it. For example, how old is this earth? How old is this earth? Now, most of the students have this an idea that it began with Adam. Therefore, Adam from today maybe about 10,000 years. So 10,000 years. But the excavations of archaeologists show that there are skulls of millions of years ago. So that means the religion somewhere is wrong. But if they come to know that in Biharul Anwar and many other books of ahadith, the Prophet has said that there have been hundreds of Adams before your Adam, and I was with every Adam, then you will realize that there has been human population long before even our grandfather Hazrat Adam came on earth. But if you look at that, then you will realize. Last month, a lady in Bangladesh wrote a book called Lajja. Lajja means sharm, haya. And in that she wrote that Quran, how can you believe in Quran which still says that sun is rotating around the moon. Sun is still rotating around the earth. Nowhere in Quran it is there. Is it there, Dr. Abdul Wahab? He's there. Other scholar. It's just opposite there. He is writing, and the book has passed as a book which will, inshallah, soon get a prize. And whoever reads in English, Quran says this. Quran never said. In fact, Quran said years and millions of times we have read the Quran. It says, وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍ لَهَا ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرُ الْعَزِيزِ الْعَلِيمِ. The sun rotates or goes around its own axis. And that is the design of the worthy and mighty God. وَكُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. Every planet goes around and swims in its orbit. Why don't we say that? Does it take Maurice Bouquet to write a book on Quran and Bible to prove that the conception and embryo of a human child is exactly what Quran says and not what Bible says? Where were we? If our curriculum does not change, a boy who has become a doctor, or a girl who becomes a doctor or a paramedic, or whatever she becomes or he becomes, when she enters society, she will enter with Islamic knowledge and Islamic enlightenment together with the degree she holds. Then it is Islamic school. Otherwise, it is not an Islamic school. And this is what we need today. That when we start thinking, inshallah ta'ala, in His creation, we become better Muslims. I ask a doctor, a surgeon, when he cuts open the human chest to see the heart, does he not see God there? Huh? When he sees the kidney function, does he not see God there? When he sees circulation of blood, does he not see Allah there? When an engineer discovers any mathematical fact, does he not see Allah there? Who made 2, 2? And who made 2 plus 2, 4? Have you ever thought? Why 2 plus 2 is 4 and not 5? Who gave those definite values to numbers? And who is the controller of the infinite numbers? There are infinite numbers. Who is the controller? What is the meaning of when Allah says, I created this earth and heavens in 6 days? What are those days when the sun was not there and the moon was not there? How could there be a day? Have you ever thought? All these things require pondering. And when we ponder and cease to be unthinking Muslims, you see, there used to be one proverb in Gujarati at that time, earlier days. Whenever anybody asked a very tantalizing question, we would tell them, Bode mane sevo. Bode mane sevo means accept without asking. Boda rahi ne kabul karo, matlabi. Can this happen today? Bode mane sevo? People ask. So while there is room for improvement, when the Prophet said, think in the creation of God and keep a time in your daily life to think over the creation of God, what shall we think about? We are in winter. We are in winter. Perhaps the severe winter. But soon after this, when the month of March will set in, you and I will not believe our eyes when suddenly the gardens will bloom. Within 8, 9, 10 days, you'll find flowers budding. And you'll find those trees which we had seen before, that they will perhaps never bear leaves, getting green again. You'll find the birds chirping, and everything around you changes. You enter the spring, Bahar. Have you ever thought what has happened? And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam inviting us to think, said, إِذَا رَأَيْتُمُ الرَّبِيعِ, when you see the spring, فَذْكُرُوا النُّشُورِ, remember how you will be brought up on the day of Qiyamah. This is how it will be. When people will look at the grave and say the grave is broken into pieces, when they will dig you or exhume you, they will find you are not there. All gone into dust. Will this be ever resurrected? The same way as these dead trees will be resurrected. Every year when the spring comes, you shall be resurrected. إِذَا رَأَيْتُمُ الرَّبِيعِ فَاذْكُرُوا النُّشُورِ. Now, who will do this? A Muslim is being asked. The Prophet is asking a Muslim to think. So therefore, in economics, if there is no religion, in economics means general economics, commerce, dukkha, everything. Then there is everything haram and halal mixed up. True? If there is no religion in economics, then there is no mercy and no humanitarian feeling. The mercy and humanitarian feeling in business comes when there is God together with it. This is halal, this is not halal. This is a part of my own wealth that I'm going to give for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمُ اتَّقُوا مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيكُمْ وَمَا خَلْفَكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. وَمَا تَأْتِيهِم مِّنْ آيَةٍ مِّنْ آيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ إِلَّا كَانُوا عَنْهَا مُعْرِضِينَ وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ أَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقَكُمُ اللَّهُ قَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَنُطْعِمُ مَنْ لَوْ يَشَاءُ اللَّهُ أَطْعَمَهُ إِنْ أَنْتُمْ إِلَّا فِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. When the people are told that spend from the rizq that Allah has given, they say, why should we feed others? Allah, if He wants to feed, He should feed Himself. You are asking me to feed a poor man from my wealth? Tell him to feed from his wealth. This comes when there is no Allah in economics. This comes when there is no Allah in education. This comes with every walk of life when there is no religion in it. Therefore, what is needed, and it's a very important subject, I will leave it tonight, tomorrow I'm not going to speak on this subject, but I have left a food for thought, something to provoke us to think. Are we actually doing anything? Wallah, no charity, no charity. And I tell, when I see mu'mineen sitting here who do spend their money, mashallah, for so many things, and may Allah accept, but no charity can equal this charity that we have in Islamic school, truly, where the subject is taught in the light of the teachings of Allah, the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt, salamullah alayhim ajma'in, and we leave it behind at a university level, not a small madrasa which does not have farsh, not a madrasa which does not have walls, does not have windows, does not have carpet, maskini. No, a proper university. And when that is done, then we have ensured, inshallah ta'ala, that the generation to come will be fully and well trained. And the foundation, inshallah, is well established. This is the meaning of what the Prophet said, وَسَاعَةٌ لِلتَّفَكُّرْ فِي صُنْعِ اللَّهِ, and a part of your day to think in the creation of God. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.